All right, what's going on, everybody? We are back. We're going to be doing our official predictions, the live stream for the full card. Well, we'll start with the prelims. We're not going to do early prelims. But for UFC 320, tomorrow, actually, Saturday, what's the date? October 4th, we have in the main event, Magomed Ankalaev is defending his light heavyweight championship against Alex Poatan Pereira. Poatan trying to get his title back that he lost to Magomed. And the co-main event, we have Merab Dvalishvili again defending his bantamweight championship for, I forget what, like the third or fourth time now, versus Corey Sandhagen. So we're going to start with the prelims, go through, and just predict all these fights. Let's see. Okay, in the prelims, the very first fight is going to be in the featherweight division. Daniel Santos taking on Yeoju Sang. I've heard of Santos, of course, but I'm not sure about this Yeoju Sang guy. Let's do some digging and research him a little bit. So let's see. Oh, Zombie Jr. Okay, so I have seen him. I think he was just on the Contender Series. Oh, wow. So this will be his second fight in the UFC. Ju Zhang called himself Korean Zombie Jr. He last fought on a Merab card, Merab versus O'Malley 2 back in June, and got the got the knockout victory in the very first round, just 28 seconds. So this guy is a stud. I actually remember that fight. Ju Sang Yo taking on Daniel Soto. So Ju Sang Yo is 9-0. Let's check out Santos and see. He's 13-2, but let's check out his nickname is the Willy Cat. It's kind of funny. So the Willy Cat, Daniel Santos taking on Ju Sang Yo. Let's see, Santos's last fight was at UFC 315. He got a decision victory over Jang Yang Lee. Probably butchered that. So has three wins in a row. John Castaneda, Johnny Munoz Jr., Jang Yang Lee. He's lost. That's funny. So he's fighting Korean Zombie Jr. The last card Daniel Santos lost on was Volkanovski versus Korean Zombie. Kind of funny there. He lost to Julio Ars. Okay. I don't know. I feel like Korean Zombie Jr. is on the rise, of course. Let's see that. Let's compare these guys' ages. Oh, 31, so he's not as young as I thought. Santos is, how old is Santos? 30. Put these guys about the same age, 5'7", compared to 5'9", featherweights. Give us Ju Sang Yo, Korean Zombie Jr., to kick off the prelims and defeat Daniel Santos. That's our official prediction. Ju Sang Yo to defeat Daniel Santos in the opener of the prelims. Let's see what we got next in the bantamweight division. Chris Gutierrez takes on Farhad Basharat. Oh, man. Bantamweight, that's my favorite division in all of MMA. Chris Gutierrez, kind of a journeyman, so to speak. 22, 6, and 2 draws or no contest. I'm not sure. Versus Farhad Basharat, who's still undefeated, 13-0. Let's just see who some of these guys have fought lately. Chris Gutierrez. El Guapo, Chris Gutierrez, his last fight. Let's see. He is 34 years old, 5'8". Again, oh, this says he's 145, so this has him at featherweight. But this is showing this fight is at bantamweight. Let's see. He's 22-6. His last 2 fights, he defeated John Castaneda recently as well. Defeated Wang Li. So 2 decisions. He's lost to Song Yadong. He's lost to Pedro Munoz. So he's only really lost to some of the top guys. He lost on the Ultimate Fighter 28 finale versus Rayoni Barcelos by rear naked choke. So he's lost by submission before A lot of wins again, 22-6. Farad Basharat 13-0. Let's just see some of these last fights. Basharat's just 28 years old, 5'6". See, this lists him at 137, so this must be, I don't know if this is Gutierrez's first fight at bantamweight or what, but most of his fights have been at featherweight. Again, Basharat undefeated. His last few fights, decision over Victor Hugo, decision over Taylor Lapalus. I mean, yeah, I've seen both these guys. Don't know too much about them, or nothing that stands out off the top of my head. So let's just we're gonna go Basharat to defeat Chris Gutierrez, probably by decision. Doesn't have like a lot of knockouts or anything crazy. Has a couple sub victories. Let's go Basharat over Chris Gutierrez. All right, next fight we got. Edmund Shabazian taking on Andre Muniz in the middleweight division. Edmund Shabazian 15-5. Andre Muniz 24-7. So a lot of experience, tons of experience between both these guys. Let's just check out Andre Muniz last few fights here. Yeah, Muniz, 35 years old, 6'2", 185. He lost his last fight by TKO versus Ikram Alaskarov. So, yeah, I mean, Alaskarov is a super good contender, of course, but Muniz's last victory, he defeated the Iron Turtle, Zhang Yang Park, by split decision. He's lost to Paul Craig, lost to Brendan Allen. So Muniz lost his last 3 of 4. That's tough skid that he's on right now, Shabazian. I remember when Shabazian was his nickname's the Golden Boy. He was this crazy prospect because he was so young, still only 27 years old, but has 20 total pro fights, again, 15-5. That's Shabazian, only 27 years old. I mean, he defeated Andre Petrosky back at UFC on ESPN 69, Usman versus Buckley, defeated Dylan Budka. I mean, yeah, Muniz is kind of in a skid right now. Lost his last 3 of 4. So let's go Edmund Shabazian to defeat Andre Muniz. That's the third fight on the card. Moving on to the feature bout of the preliminary card, we have Atiba Gauthier, who's an absolute dog, taking on Tristan Vines. I'm not going to talk about bets on this stream. We're just going to go straight picks without looking at bets, but I'm pretty sure Atiba is the largest favorite on this card. Just an absolute dog. Not even going to look into Vine's record, but I think Atiba is just going to probably run through him. I don't know if he'll get the first round knockout, but I wouldn't doubt it. Moving on to the main card. Opening up, I'm going to absolutely butcher this. Abu Supian Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer. We love Joe Pyfer. He's a Philly guy. We are here in Pennsylvania. After all, let's just remind ourselves, Magomedov's last few fights, he's 28-6, 35 years old, 28-6-1 record, so obviously tons of experience. Abu Supian, yeah, any of those Magomedovs drive me nuts, but let's see here, his last few. Why not just autocorrect Magomedov? Okay, there we go. So, again, 28-6. He's 35 years old. Taking on Joe Pyfer. So, Magomedov's last few fights, he's won a bunch recently. His last 3 fights he's won, but before that, lost 2 in a row. So, let's start there. His first loss in a while came back in July 2023. He lost to Sean Strickland by TKO. So, Sean Strickland doesn't really TKO anybody, so that's interesting there. Kai Barallo, so he lost back-to-back to Sean Strickland and Kai Barallo. But then he went on a 3-fight streak here. He beat Warley Alves, Bruno Ferreira, and Michel Pereira. Before his loss to Sean Strickland, he beat Dustin Stoltzfus. So kind of streaky record here he has 2 draws on his card. His draw came back in PFL, actually. A lot of PFL fights. Interesting. His very first UFC fight was the victory to Dustin Stoltzfus, and then he lost those back-to-back to Strickland and Barallo. So, but he's coming off 3 wins. Let's see what Pyfer's done lately. Body bags, Joe Pyfer coming out of Philly again. We love all the Philly guys: Sean Brady, Petrosky, Joe Pfeiffer. Shout out Philly. Yeah, Joe Pfeiffer beat Kevin Gastelum just recently again. Pfeiffer back on a Marab card. The last fight he was on was that victory against Kevin Gastelum, UFC 316, Marab versus O'Malley 2. Decision victory. Before that, he actually knocked out Marc-Andre Barriot. So Pfeiffer, obviously, we know he has that power. Always looking to land that one shot. Lost a decision victory before that to Jack Hermanson. But before that loss, let's see, he was on a 1, 2, 3, 4 fight streak. Well, I actually forgot Pfeiffer lost in the Contender Series to Dustin Stoltzfus, who Stoltzfus is actually from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I think he trains and fights out of Germany now, so Stoltzfus. But yeah, anyway, Joe Pfeiffer, 2 victories back to back, one being that knockout. Man, this is super hard to pick. Let's see if Magomed's ever been knocked out, because I don't think Pfeiffer's going to, submit him or anything. So we've seen, obviously that last name Magomedov, it's like if he gets Pfeiffer to the ground, he's probably going to get it done. You know what? We're going to roll with Joe Pfeiffer. Oh, Bloom Echo. Thanks. Jesus loves you. I love you too, brother. Appreciate you. Shout out Boom Echo. So yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I'm a little worried. It's where I'm rooting for Joe Pfeiffer. I don't know if he's going to get it done, but yeah, let's go Joe Pfeiffer on that one. Moving on. Wow, okay. This next one is going to be a banger. We're getting into these really good later in the night fights. In the featherweight division, Josh Emmett taking on Youssef Zalal. This is going to be a banger. I'm pretty sure Youssef is the favorite right now. This is one of those where I might go with the underdog, but let's remind ourselves again, Youssef's last few fights. Let's see, Youssef, the Moroccan Devil. I don't like that nickname. 29 years old, 5'10", 145, taking on Josh Emmett. So Youssef Zalal has been just on an absolute tear. So let's backtrack a little bit to 2020. Youssef Zalal loses to none other than Ilia Topuria, loses again to Sung Woo Choi, loses a third time in a row to Sean Woodson. After that, he gets a draw versus Damon Blackshear. But since that draw, he's been on absolute tear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 victories in a row for Youssef Zalal since that draw, and bad skid of losses. He beat Edwin Chavez, Jake Childress, I'm not going to pronounce this guy's name, Billy Quarantillo, Jarno Aarons, Jack Shore, and Calvin Cater. That's actually submission, nice arm triangle choke over Jack Shore. So Youssef has the ability to submit guys. He actually, holy smokes, 1, 2, 3, 4 submission victories in a row for Youssef Zalal. I think it's going to be tough to take Josh Emmett down, but I think he'll be able to do so. As long as he can weather that early storm. Obviously, Josh Emmett has the power, can put anybody's lights out if he connects, and that's going to be the key, obviously, if he can connect. I think Youssef Zalal dances around a lot, probably just gets his reads, feels Josh Emmett out for that first round entirely, goes for some takedowns. I don't know if he's going to submit Josh Emmett, but give us Youssef Zalal, probably by decision. But maybe throw a dart. Again, it's not a betting stream, but throw a dart. Check out the odds on Youssef Zalal winning via submission. That might be something to look into, but I'm going to go Zalal by decision over Josh Emmett. All right, now we're moving into just 3 back-to-back banger fights to close out this card. UFC 320. So in the light heavyweight division, we got Yuri taking on Khalil Roundtree. This could main event any fight night, any other time, but we get it as the third to last fight. This card is completely stacked, so let's just remind ourselves again, Yuri's last few fights. I think I already know where I'm going with this, but just to get the kind of facts and stats out there for everybody. Oh, Yuri. Everybody loves this guy. I don't know. He's good, clearly. but he has such a like cult following. People love his like samurai stuff and the lore that is Yuri. Just obviously incredibly decorated background. 31-5 in MMA. He's 32, 6'4", 205, of course. His last fight, he knocked out Jamal Hill in the third round, and then his fight before that, losing to Alex the second time. Before that, he beat Alexander Rodchik. Before that, lost to Alex for the first time. His first title shot against Alex, lost via TKO. But I mean, before those fights, he beat Glover, beat Dom Reyes, beat Vulcan, beat CB Dalloway. CB Dalloway and Ryzen, jeez. Interesting. Okay. So Yuri actually doesn't have as many UFC fights as I thought, but obviously the experience, the power's there, his unorthodox style. Um, but I don't think Khalil's going to fall for it. I think Khalil, that Muay Thai, is going to keep it super tight, high guard. Look for those leg kicks. The leg kicks from Poatan were effective. Yuri getting KO'd in the first round by my brother. Yeah, see, I like that. I feel like everything I've seen has been Yuri. People are hammering the line for Yuri. Again, not a betting stream. I think the odds, I know Yuri's the favorite. I'm not sure what they are, but I like Khalil Roundtree. Hold on, that's not my official prediction yet. Let's just look back. Khalil Roundtree, obviously, super memorable resurgence as of late. Of course, Roundtree lost to Alex as well. Put on a better fight, I'd say, against Alex than Yuri did, especially in that second fight. But Yuri did better against Jamal Hill than Khalil did. So you can't do MMA math, but those are just the facts. But before that, Khalil Roundtree, before the loss to Poatan, he was on like a 5-fight win streak, beat Modestus Bukauskas, Carl Robertson, Dustin Jacoby, Chris Daukaus, and Anthony Smith. 1, 2, 3, like 4 of those 5 wins were TKO. Khalil Roundtree, again, that Muay Thai style. I think he's going to be able to put the leg kicks on Yuri. Yuri likes to just dip his head and look for those crazy angles. I don't think Khalil's going to fall for any of that. I don't know if Khalil will be able to knock him out. I think he's going to be tough to find Yuri's head for the big shots there and get the knockout. But I think Khalil can follow the game plan that he had against Jamal. Just keep chopping the leg. Pretty much just went crazy with leg kicks that whole first round and then started working the body. Khalil has really good punches to the body, and then we'll find the head later on. Give us Khalil Roundtree. I know a lot of people going with Yuri. I like Khalil Roundtree. Typically, I like to pull for the American guy, but I truly think Khalil Roundtree can and will get the victory. So give us Roundtree. I'd like to see him get the TKO or knockout, but I think Roundtree gets a decision victory over Yuri, and he's going to bust a lot of people's parlays. A lot of people pulling for Yuri. I think Khalil Roundtree gets it done. Now we finally move on to the co-main event. Of course, Merab Dvalishvili defending that bantamweight championship yet again. This time, brand new contender Corey Sandhagen steps into the light. Let's just go back. Corey Sandhagen's last several fights here. I was one of those I was pulling for Sandhagen versus O'Malley. Maybe before Sandhagen gets the shot, but here we are. Let's see, Sandhagen's last several bouts. He is 18-5, 33 years old, 5'11", 135, of course. So Sandhagen's last, let's see. So back in 2021, Sandhagen had a 2-fight skid where he lost to TJ Dillashaw and Peter Yan back-to-back, both by decisions, nothing devastating. But then he goes on a 3-fight victory streak. He beats Song Yadong, beats Marlon Cheeto Vera, beats Rob Font, loses a close decision to Umar Nurmagomedov, but then rebounds and defeats Davison Figueiredo by TKO. Fig hurt his knee on that, but if you watch Corey talk about it, he kind of did that on purpose, I guess, the position they were in. I'm not jiu-jitsu expert or anything like that, but Corey said he actually did that to Fig, so I don't think it was just a freak injury. So Sandhagen did defeat Fig on the ground pretty much, even though it's ruled a TKO, knee injury. So, I mean, yeah, Sandhagen has all the talent in the world. He's beaten Frankie Edgar, Marlon Moraes, Rafael Assunção, John Lineker, Mario Batista. I mean, he's only lost to Aljamain, Dillashaw, Peter Yan, and Umar. So he's only lost to champions and Umar, who's potentially, arguably, a future champion. I don't know, man. Merab is just so good. It's hard to find, mentally to visualize a path of victory for Sandhagen. I don't know. I feel like he'll be able to mix in some offensive wrestling of his own to keep Merab on his toes. He'll be able to do that, obviously, a lot better than Sean O'Malley. It seemed like O'Malley was just worried about getting taken down the whole time and didn't really have a plan outside of that. You're not going to not get taken down versus Merab. It's kind of what you do with it, how well you're able to scramble, get up to your feet. Of course, easier said than done. Let's just look back again. Obviously, Merab has been on a tear, but we're just going to remind ourselves of his record here in last several fights. He's 20-4, 34 years old, 5'6", 135 again, fighting out of Vegas, but he's also with that Serra-Longa team from New York, so he's got that kind of hybrid coaching, training there. I mean, we know these last